Good morning. Welcome into Glenn Clark Radio. It's going to be a Would You Rather Wednesday edition. As you can tell, Glenn of Glenn Clark Radio is not here at the moment. Him and Drew are currently at Helping Up mission right now. They're making their annual delivery to Helping Up. But no fear, he will be here in very shortly. So we'll do things a little bit out of order today. We're actually going to get you a segment of last night's Tyus Bowser Show at the Hamilton Sports Bar and Grill. That was last night, and featuring Tyus and his special guest, Josh Ross. So we will do that in just a few moments here. Also coming up, we're going to chat with Peter Moore, who is actually the punter from Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is going to be up in Annapolis for the Military Bowl next week as Virginia Tech takes on Tulane in the Military Bowl. Peter Moore is the punter. He is right here from Baltimore. He actually went to Calvert Hall, right across the street here from the studio here in Towson. So we'll chat with him later on. Also, Donte Whitner, who former NFL player, now an analyst, 49ers analyst for NBC Bay Area. So we'll talk some 49ers with him as we begin previewing that game of the year on Monday night, Christmas night, Ravens 49ers. So lots to do today. Glenn we'll check in with Drew as well. Glenn is on his way en route right now back to the studio. And then we'll check in with Drew, who is live, who will be down there all day. So a lot to do. Before we get into segment number 1 of the Tyus Bowser Show, I should remind you that the Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today. Now, without further ado, we shall get into segment number 1 of last night's Tyus Bowser Show, featuring Tyus, of course, Glenn, Rita, and his special guest, linebacker Josh Ross.
Always good to see you, brother.
Always good to see you.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Happy holidays. Today's show brought to you by Superbook. You can use the code GlennClark23 when you sign up at superbook.com or download the Superbook app. And when you do, you'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet match, win or lose. Ravens right now, plus 235 to win the AFC, plus 550 to win it all. Seems like maybe you get on those numbers, because I think they're only going to get smaller. So just get on them right now at Superbook. Tyus, you brought out a guest tonight. You want to make sure you introduce everybody to him?
Yeah, man, this is one of our upcoming players. A lot of people haven't heard his name, but they definitely will in the future. Definitely looking forward to this guy, and his career, especially here in Baltimore. And just a good guy, a guy that I know is going to make some noise in this league really, really soon. And that guy is Josh Ross.
Josh, thank you for coming out, man. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely, dude. All right, so that was fun, right? On Sunday night, that was a lot of fun. Anybody else enjoy that?
A lot of fun.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like everybody to know I predicted that.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. Not
You
the
did
actual.
say multiple scores. That's true. You
Yeah,
said multiple
I
scores.
was not phased at all by Jacksonville for some reason. I don't know. I just felt like the Ravens were going to go in there, take care of business by multiple scores.
Yeah. Get in, get out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
And that's what happened. You get in, you get out.
Exactly what
Exactly.
happened. The way that you guys do it, it's not, again, winning a game is one thing. It's always good to win a game. To dominate defensively, to allow just 7 points against Trevor Lawrence and a first-place team. I maybe we say every win means the same. We talked about this after the Rams game, right? It's a win, it's a win, it's a win. But do games like that feel a little bit different? Do you come out of that like a little bit more of, yeah, this is who we are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about a playoff team, one of the top, and just for us to go into that type of environment, which was crazy, a ton of energy, and to go out there and handle business, in their home stadium. I mean, that was quite a show for us. And like I said, we just played together. We played hard. We made the plays that we needed to make, and we did what we need to make sure that they didn't get in the end zone. And our offense came and did their job as well, made the plays that they needed to make, and the score shows exactly what we did. So.
No doubt.
Speaking of off, I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just to add too, as a young guy in the building, seeing our defense this whole season, man, it's it's actually been a pleasure to see just week by week how much our defense communicates together, how good of a leader Roquan is, how he come in the building every single day. It ain't no surprise to me this game, this past game, how well we dominated into the future, just how close our defense is as one. We work together as one, and like dudes is really like you can feel the energy when you walk into the facility every day. Like dudes is ready to work for each other, and it's live to see, definitely.
I love that. No, I mean, like, I'm like, oh, I'm fired up because like Roquan came in, and I'm like, because Roquan is definitely like intense on camera or intense in sound bites. You're saying he's just as
Those pregame
intense.
speeches.
Yeah, you're saying he's just as intense. Like that's the real deal.
Oh no, that's the real deal.
Okay.
That's the real deal. Them pregame speeches gonna have you ready to run through a wall for sure. No, for real, for real. I'll be ready.
Learning from his mentor, I'm sure Ray Lewis. That is.
No, for real. But just seeing that dude come to work, how he come to work every day, how he say hello to everybody in the building, how he know everybody's name, like all of that, I feel like that's a key piece to why our defense is like together as glue right now and just continuing to go up. So it's a pleasure to be there and to continue to work and get better, perfect my craft, and see our defense ball too.
Absolutely. Back to, making the plays on offense. I know you guys, I don't want us to get complacent with how great Lamar Jackson is in terms of the things that he turns water into wine, for lack of a better term, right? I mean,
the Messiah.
I'm just making the point that he'll make something out of nothing, right? And you look at, the play against Smoot, and Smoot is on him. I mean, Smoot is on his ass, and he is like, he gets out of the sack, and Smoot probably thinks he closes in, and then he makes this ridiculous throw down the field. Like when you see Lamar in his element doing this, does it ever get old to you guys? Like I don't want us to get used to it. I always want to be like, oh my God, every time he does something like that.
I mean, you talk about professional players, and you just see, and you're a defensive player, and when you get against other quarterbacks, how easy it is to get there, to get guys down, and sometimes how hard it is to get guys down. And just to see a guy like Lamar, I mean, especially the moves he make and how he's just able to get out of it. Honestly, it's still a sight to see, regardless of his name and who he is and what he's done in the past. It's always amazing to see a guy like that make plays, for this team.
Josh, Tyus has been here for all of it, right? Like he's seen literally every play Lamar's ever made. When you arrive, you have been obviously watching him from afar, but to see it in person, right? Like, can you possibly describe like what it's like the first time you're like, oh my God, this guy, TV can't even do it justice sometimes.
So I'm gonna be real. Like I practice against this dude every day, and one of the like first things I notice is like his release is so fast. Cause like when I practice, like I be trying as a linebacker break once his hand come off the ball. But his release is so quick that it's hard to get a jump on breaking. That's like football terms, but in other words, without the running, that dude is ridiculous.
Right.
When you add the element of scrambling and getting out the pocket and all the trickery he do behind there, like it's wild to see.
It almost feels like he's daring, right? Like it just almost feels like he's playing a different game. Do y'all want to come? Why don't you just stand right there and let me go ahead and do what I'm about to do? Because the moment you do something, you're gonna end up looking really stupid in the process.
Pretty much, man. I mean, like I said, we've all practiced against Lamar. I mean, whether it's ones and twos, whatever it is. I mean, we went against him, and you always wonder how he get that ball off. How did he get out of this pocket? Like, is he okay? Like, just with everything,
that dude is different.
It's just one of those type of guys that's like, man, he's really a threat, and you just don't want to have to be in a situation where you got to get this guy down. And that just tells you the type of guy he is, the type of player he is, man. It's just amazing to be a part of
Do
that.
you have an all-time favorite Lamar play? Do you have one that like? Because for me, it's the he is Houdini run against the Bengals, like that.
Yeah.
Is it that, or is it Kevin Harlan?
Kevin Harlan helps.
Is he pumping you up to make that the best moment?
He is Houdini thing, just a 10 out of 10. But the whole play was magic.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I remember it was one play that he did against the Texans. It was a few years back, maybe his first year that he actually started. And it was just a zone read. And pretty much shook a dude, threw the ball over his head, and then went again, did another one, broke one, seen the dude, stopped on a dime, let him fly wherever he was about to fly to, and then kept going. He didn't see the dude on his opposite side, but he seen it last minute and protected himself. But I was like, man, just the awareness, the reaction, the speed, the quickness, everything in one. When you really look at that play, and it's like, if this was any other quarterback, that's a tackle for a loss.
Yep.
And for him to just do that all in one and see that, I was like, oh my goodness, man, this is crazy. This is gonna be exciting seeing this guy.
Josh, do you have a favorite one?
So I can't remember the team specifically, but it was when I was in college. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was in his MVP season. But this dude took a 60-yard like scramble to the crib, spin move. I don't know if
Was
it
that
That's
the
the
te-
Bengals.
that was the
That's
the same.
That's the
yeah,
Bengals
that's
game. Yeah.
That's my
he
favorite
is
play.
Houdini.
Yeah.
He is Houdini.
That was-
that was
Bengals
crazy.
game.
Hey, if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Tyus Bowser Show, Press Box and 105.7 The Fan. All right, Josh, your history with Mike McDonald, right? Like, did you kind of always assume, like, I'm gonna be in Baltimore? Like, that's where I'm gonna be. Where else could I possibly be?
Yeah, it's wild to think about, like, so my last year at Michigan, I was at Michigan for 5 years. I stayed for my 5th year, and this is the season after we went 2-4, COVID year. We was terrible. The building was terrible. The culture was terrible. And we needed a change. And Coach Jim Harbaugh brought in Mike McDonald as our defensive coordinator. And right off the rip, like, I could tell, like, the type of guy he was, the type of coach he was, but just how willing he was to collaborate and not only like dictate and say it's his way or the highway, but allow all of the leaders, allow the whole team to work together. And it kind of built to what we did my last year at Michigan. Moving to the Ravens, seeing Coach McDonald flourish as a coach, how much he's grown, like the type of dude he is, what he's calling, how everybody buys into his plan and his mission for our defense. It's live to see. I'm not gonna lie, but I could not call it that I was gonna be in Baltimore and Coach Mike was gonna be.
You weren't like already looking for a place in like March. Like, I better already start scoping out like apartments in Baltimore.
Man, I was straining, getting ready for the combine. End up going undrafted, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna roll with Baltimore for sure.
That's what's up. It's a question though. Since you've known McDonald quite a few years, right? Is there something that we don't know about him, like from a personality perspective? Does he does something quirky?
So we've had a history in Baltimore of like Rex Ryan,
Yeah.
Chuck Pagano,
Yeah.
and these like over the top personality dudes.
And
Mike
he
Mc-
seems kind of reserved. Like he
Yeah.
comes off a
What-
little reserved.
What do you know about the
Does
guy?
he like karaoke? Like what? You know?
His sense of humor is funny. His sense of humor funny because he is like he got a little bit of awkward in him. Like he a
It's
little
like
awkward.
a dry sense.
Yeah,
It's like
but-
an awkward
He's
dry sense.
he's a Seinfelder.
He's not, but he like to throw in like a few jokes about certain type of things, and he just be waiting just for a reaction. He's like, I guess y'all haven't seen this. Y'all don't know what this is, and then he try to play it off, and it's like, yeah, coach, you took the L on this,
It's funny too. I remember one of the first memories I had of Coach Mike at Michigan was like every joke, like Tabo was just saying, like every joke that dude talk about, it's about a movie reference that you might not have heard of. And he's like, you never heard of that? I'm like, nah.
This is me dealing with all of the young people that I work with. Like this actually sounds strikingly familiar when I try to make like a reference to Tommy Boy, and they're all like,
Yeah, we tried that. And
"You're
everyone.
100 years
Do
old."
you know what Tommy Boy
I
is?
don't.
Okay, well there it is.
not at all.
We're continuing the trend here, so never mind.
Exactly what I was gonna get with that.
But I wasn't a big movie guy growing up, though.
Yeah, this was a pretty popular one. I'm not.
I seen Tommy Boy.
Okay,
I seen Tommy Boy.
somebody sing
Thank
Tommy.
I'm gonna have to look this up during the break.
If I did like fat guy in a little coat,
You wouldn't know the reference,
That-
Tyus. But would you, Josh? Would you know the reference? Because that was in the movie.
It was. I seen the movie.
You
but
just
did I
don't
know that
remember?
reference?
Okay,
I don't
all right.
remember.
Look, man, I'm gonna settle for that. Like, I'm just gonna settle for Josh has seen the movie, and that is beyond good enough.
All right, one more question. Do you know who Outkast is?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Ooh,
sorry, Miss Jackson.
Thank you.
We wouldn't
You don't know the
possibly-
struggles we've been through.
Yeah, we went
And
through
learning.
a real bad situation where
Pat Ricard,
Pat Ricard mentioned who was it?
Big Boy.
He thought,
Boy,
yes,
he thought the song "Who Let the Dogs Out" was
was Outcast.
Outkast.
It was the darkest moment of the
Very,
history of the Tyus
very
Bowser
dark
Show.
moment.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That's
right.
As
was
long as
very-
you know who Outcast is, you good with me.
Yeah,
So we're
we,
good.
We
here.
are
That's
all
classic.
good in that department. Tyus, from your perspective, you know, you didn't have the history with Coach McDonald the way that Josh did, right? Like when he arrives, what did you know about him? And what have you seen from him? Like how has he changed in just the short time since he's gotten here and meshed with you guys? And I'm not trying to give him the credit for how good the defense is, because clearly, you know, y'all have some pretty damn good players. But like, you know, it happens to be that you both have a coordinator that's come in and a unit that's done nothing but improve since he's gotten here.
Well, I've known Mike McDonald since my first in the league. He was a linebacker coach at the
I
time.
always forget
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Always,
You know, I'm a little bit older.
always forget.
I'm a
that,
little
like,
bit
you
older.
actually
I don't
been-
want to tell people I'm older, but yeah, I'm a
And
little.
yet you haven't seen Tommy Boy.
I have not.
Not acceptable.
But you know, just with Mike, man, just being a player under him as when he was a linebacker coach, and just learning from him, you could just tell how intelligent he is, and just how well he knew the playbook, and just different terminology, different things that he sees, and it just made so much more sense. And he was definitely a guy that I went to when I was younger, just learning coverages, learning the reasons of different situations, you know, the down and distance to the 2 minutes, what to expect, like all different types of points that it was like, man, like I never thought of this. Like, and this is good for me moving forward as a player to learn the game of football and playing defense and what to expect, different routes, how to drop and coverage, how to, you know, what the communication is in the back end. All of that stuff played a huge part. And, you know, he ended up leaving the Michigan, and then, you know, found out that he was deciding to come back to be the defensive coordinator. And part of me felt like that was going to be a case for him. Number one, when he was at Michigan, I was like, I can see him being this, you know, and just for it to, you know, make a full circle for him to be the defensive coordinator with the Baltimore Ravens, it just made things way more easier, because like you said, you got a leader, you got a guy who is confident in his defense, who's confident in his playbook and the plays that he has. And, you know, he's gonna stand on what he says, what he does, but he's also open to wanting to hear what the players have to say, because we always talk about it being a players first, you know, game, and he wants to make sure that we're all on the same accord, that we're all on one understanding. If there's something that maybe we see because we're on the field that he doesn't see, then he's open to listening to that. And if it makes sense, then he's open to doing it. If there's a way, you know, for us as rushers to be able to get in a certain type of front to where it helps us get to the quarterback, or even so, it's like, man, let's get y'all to rush. We got to get y'all to rush, man. So we're going to put y'all in a situation to go out there and do what we paid y'all to do. And to have a guy like that that's open to doing that, you really appreciate guys like that, because that helps you flourish as a player, but it also helps you develop trust in a guy like that to want to play even hard and do the things that you need to make it successful.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Y'all make some noise one more time. Tyus Bowser, Josh Ross. Hey, Great Eights Memorabilia is getting into the live music business. You can find out more at great8smemorabilia.com with the number 8, the bonfire sessions in January, some live concerts in February. Again, great8smemorabilia.com. When we come back in, unfortunately, not all good news from Sunday. We'll talk about the unfortunate part with Keaton Mitchell going down. And let's get that Lamar for MVP campaign rolling. Let's get into
All right,
that.
there
We'll do that
was
next.
segment
Tyus
number
Bowser
1
Show,
of
Press
last
Box
night's
1057
Tyus
back.
Bowser Show, featuring Tyus, obviously, and his special guest, Josh Ross. We're going to take a break here. Glenn is only minutes away, so we will have your regularly scheduled programming on the other side. But before we hit the break, I do want to remind you what's going on at the Green Turtle Sportsbooks. You can get a $10 free bet every Thursday at the new Green Turtle Sportsbooks in Towson or Canton, so stop by, get your free $10 bet, watch the game, and enjoy some great Green Turtle food. So make sure you check out the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting with a free $10 bet each and every Thursday. So go ahead, use that on Thursday Night Football, something that you like. Maybe the under. At this point, seems like it might never hit again, but I would still be betting the under. Go ahead and check out the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, or both. We will be right back with more Glenn Clark Radio.